So, yes, you are working on yourself and dealing with the traumas and all of that you have experienced. Beyond that, I believe you want to get married. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. And in preparing for marriage and getting into it whenever you will, what are your views on the roles of men and women in relationships?
I think my answers will be always going to the true north.
Mm-hmm.
So my views is, what is God's structure? What is God's view on marriage?
Mm-hmm.
And He's got a structure. I don't think it's very dynamic. I don't think it's just this is the structure. You know,
Yeah.
His structure is Christ, the man, the woman, and the family, your children. So that is my structure, and I believe we as women and men, we complement each other, and we are different. I know society would like for us to be the same. We are not. I'm not saying to take away from equality and all of that discussion, but we have a different, we bring differences in not differences in a negative light, but you bring something as a woman and a man brings something as a man, and that's how I define roles.
Yeah.
However, when I say roles, I mean, and I even go back to saying dynamic,
Okay.
because I don't think a role means as a man being a provider you say Stunj, that's a role, and since he's a provider, that means I cannot bring anything financial or contribute to anything that would be defined as a provider into the home. So there's that dynamic view, and when I study the Bible, I see different roles or functions, let me call them functions, not roles, of man and woman in relationships with their roles.
Yeah.
As a man, the protector, the provider, the woman, the nurturer, their roles. But I see functions intertwined
Okay.
at play. I see a Proverbs 31 woman who is an industrious woman.
Yep.
And I mean, if we were just stunge on the roles, then we'd just see a man being the
Being the one
industrious.
that does that, yeah.
So the dynamic function of each is based on their own dynamics in their relationships. In the relationship, like for example, if I am married and my husband is maybe an entrepreneur, and it requires for him to be in the field, and it requires for me to be in the home, then so be it. It depends on our dynamic.
Yeah.
And if our dynamic is different and I'm the one who is in the field, I may be business minded or entrepreneur, not entrepreneur, I wanted to say corporate.
Okay.
Then if I'm out in the field and he's tending for the home, then that's our dynamic.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change that structure. It doesn't change God's ordained structure,
Okay.
model. He's still the man of the house. We are out to respect one another, are out to respect, we are out to submit to one another, as the Bible says, without taking away the dignity of his role in the family, vice versa. And then modeling that for our children as well. So that is my view in terms of it's again dependent. I can't say the shoe
One
fits for
size fits all.
everyone. Yeah, and I can't criticize models as long as at the end of the day, each role does not overpower the other, and there will be compromise, there will be disagreements, but again we get back to the true north, to the true structure that God had ordained for us. Again, I don't believe God made a mistake by ordaining a structure. So yeah, that's my view on the roles. My future marriage will be dependent on the dynamic of our relationship. If it so happens, like currently I am an industrious woman, I like to believe I'm an industrious woman. So I might meet somebody who's equally industrious, and we might equally need to go to our workplace based on our needs for us and the family, and we would then get something like help to tend the home, because both of us cannot be home all the time. Or I might just marry somebody who's fully industrious and they can take care of both of us without me being in the industry.
Yeah.
And I would actually love that, by the way. I would love that. But yeah, so it will depend on the person that I meet and I connect with.
Yeah.
And God ensured that we should get help. You don't have to be a slave just because it's said the man is the man of the house. He must go to the field, and if he goes to the field and he's only able to make so much, then I must stay in the home and also fight so hard. When you can actually get help, I don't see any issues with that. It's again the dynamics of that relationship.
Yeah. You're saying if it happened that you were to marry someone who can take care of both of you, you'd be happy to be home. Can we speak to the view that being at home, being a stay-at-home mom, okay, I think there are two views that people have, not everyone. Three views. One, that it's good, it's a good thing. The other is that you're lazy. How dare you be at home when everyone else is working? And then there's another one that how can you allow him to oppress you like that? You need to be out there and, being, I don't know, a woman who's out there.
That's just women.
What's your view of these two? One that you're being lazy and one you're being oppressed.
Okay. Lazy. I am lazy, I must say. That's not even a view, that's an opinion. I would love to be lazy. Let me say, I'm not lazy. I would love to be lazy. I mean, why do you want to suffer? Why do you want to struggle? Why don't you enjoy life?
Okay.
But in terms of views, general views, I don't think you're lazy. It speaks to the relationship you have with your husband and your own conscience.
Okay.
If your conscience allows for you to stay at home, be a stay-at-home mom, and you feel that your needs are met and you feel that you're not oppressed, then so be it. It shouldn't be informed or shouldn't be influenced by what society is saying. Yeah. And being at home doesn't mean you are lazy. There's a role that needs to be played in terms of your children. Earlier you asked me what roles or what models should children see, and I said they see by you doing. So as a stay-at-home mom, you are pretty much industrious yourself. You are ensuring that the kids learn, they are brought up, they are taken care of. You are ensuring that the home is a safe haven. You're ensuring that the home is warm enough for the industrious husband or industrious wife when they are gone to the field. When the man is out in the field, and I always say man because it's generally the perceived idea, but I mean either or.
Okay.
If the man is out in the field, he struggles out there. It's tough out there. You're fighting for gold, and you don't want to come home and have to struggle also in the home.
Yeah.
So as a mother who is a stay-at-home mom, if you're successfully taking care of that function, you'd ensure that he comes back home. He looks forward to coming back home, and it encourages him to wake up the next morning and go dig for gold. So it's not like you are sitting and doing nothing. You're playing a major important role which will shape the future of your children. It will shape, if we look at society, we've got leaders. We've got bad and good leaders. And those leaders were raised by somebody. It was not by society. It was not by default. It was not by mistake. There's exceptions. But if you look back, you'd see that maybe the husband was the one who was out there, but the woman in the background was carrying that load. So that we consider that lazy, but that is effective. That is, that is taking care of. It's your part. It's your part in the relationship, it is a very huge part. I often just thinking, when I think laws are also structured that way, and I think people who created these laws, maybe they were aware or maybe they were not. Like if you look at divorce laws, when you divorce, they say things are slightly changing, but in the last few generations, when you divorce, they say you need to give 50% to the wife or the woman, and they would even said, even if you were not married, if you stayed with that person,
For a
that
certain
person
time.
is entitled to 50%. And I think what formed that is that person contributed. They contributed emotionally. They contributed to you. They might not have contributed financially like you have, but for you to be able to wake up every morning
They
and
had
go
a
make
part
finance,
to
it
play.
was because that person was there supporting you in other ways.
Yeah.
So for me, a stay-at-home mom or dad plays that major role that is not so tangible,
Yeah.
but in your spirit or your soul, it is very much needed. It is very much the big piece of the pie, if I'd say it like that. So
Yeah.
so no, I'm not for lazy. Or the perception that it's laziness, and I'm not for the perception that just because a man is going to work or a woman is going to work, we must equally go to work. No, what works for us?
Yeah.
Do we need to equally go to work and get help? Because at the end of the day, we still need that full support.
Yeah.
Or do we have somebody stay at home and
And fulfill that role.
yeah.
Okay.